Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. What's up, Internet? Welcome to Gaming Gumbo, Ready Check Radio's weekly gaming wrap-up show. That means it's Saturday, and it's 7 p.m. Eastern. We're doing the show live, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio, RAIDEO. If you're listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com. Up in the upper right corner, you got all the socials, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all of it. Follow, subscribe, set up notifications, tell your friends, help spread the word, help us grow as we continue on our adventure. 3 podcasts per week and a team of volunteer streamers that would love to have you and your friends hanging out with us. We've got a lot to cover today, and Twitch seems to be acting up a little bit, so I apologize if you're watching live. Video should be fine on YouTube, though. So hopefully Twitch will catch up to us. But if you've got thoughts, throw them in chat. We'll be sure to put them on the show. Joining me to go over all of the other stuff, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
It would surprise you to hear this, but I'm kind of grumpy today.
No.
Yeah, really, really long queues in Conqueror's Blade are making me grumpy.
Well, I mean, how are you having really long queues? That game's actually doing pretty well population-wise.
Some special mode that I have to do for mission, and the people only group up in teams, and I don't want to be in teams. And it's
I hate that stuff. I hate when, like, Rocket League right now has me part of the season challenges or whatever for stage 2 is to do extra modes. I hate when they make games make you do the extra modes.
Oh, but I can skip them if I pay cash.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Of course. Sure.
Also on the line, he doesn't have the cat anymore, so he's
Nope,
not doing his
cat's
Dr.
gone.
Evil impersonation. What's up, Yod? How are you, my friend?
Doing all right. You know, the stuff, usual things.
Doing the arts. Hey, great
the
feedback from the artwork you produced for our crossover stream with Mr. Happy.
Oh, yeah? Very nice.
Happy
Good,
liked
good.
it. The crowd liked it. Chat liked it. YouTube liked
Excellent.
it. They liked it. Happy said he may be trying
Excellent.
to commission you for an update on some of his stuff. So I
Hey,
plugged.
he's more than welcome to.
I plugged.
Hey.
I plugged.
Yeah.
I also said, hey, no free stuff. Don't ask him for free stuff, or I will beat your ass. He won't have to. I will.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll do it too.
Stuff.
I'll beat someone's ass too.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the mood for it. What's up, Mad Martha? Joining us in chat. Is that the Mike B mask emote?
It is the Mike B mask.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Nice.
All right, we got quite a bit to cover, so let's kind of get to it. Let's start off with 2 games that both some of us on the panel were eager to play and have now gotten a chance to play and work through some, if not all, of the game. So, Yod, I think we'll start with you just because you've been so happy about this and Jason's so crabby right now. Let's start on a happy note and hopefully cheer Mr. Winter up. Mass Effect Remastered Trilogy is now available. You have gotten some time to play it. I know Ninja Pandas, who's probably in chat or will be shortly, has played through the first one twice now because he felt he screwed up his romance. So did not opt to go to number 2, went back and played number 1 a second time. Where are you in it? How are you enjoying it? What are your thoughts on the remaster itself? Some of the changes graphically and narratively, the small kind of stuff that they've added or altered.
I'm still messing around at the beginning. I always like to take my time, but it's really early on. But of course I've played, through the original set like 3 or 4 times. I've read up on some of the changes that people have now found out that they've made, such as the what was it? One character which they felt should have been a Turian, so they swapped out the model, and of course the speedy load screens and stuff are nice. But I heard there's also a patch coming up that they're gonna make the irises look a little less dead, which was a thing that all 3 original Mass Effects had. And when it came to Andromeda, most people didn't even realize that was an issue on that because the original 3 had the same look in their eyes where they're kind of dead, but apparently they're gonna patch that so that they've got more of a glint of life to them, like Andromeda has after their little patch with the eyes.
Mad Martha
But yeah,
saying in chat that the field of view doesn't quite work right now unless you use some hacks.
right. There's a few things that are issues that I'm waiting for them to patch before I really get into it, because I want to, actually experience the game again for the first time, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm still
Well,
on the
Joe game,
fence.
and they still need patches for it.
Right.
I see.
Fun.
We're supposed to be trying to cheer him up, Yod. We're supposed to be trying to cheer him up.
Not happening.
Okay. Well, they've gone ahead and fixed Tali a little bit. So for the third game, if you romance her in the original third game, you get a photograph to look at to stare longingly at her unmasked face. And in the original version, it's like a Miss Universe or something from England where they just modified her facial features and cropped out half her hand that's like on her shoulder.
Jeez.
It doesn't even look like a full hand with, 3 fingers. They literally just cut half her hand off in the image. And it was terrible. But they actually went in
He looked
and
like Ethan
used the
from
game
Resident
engine.
Evil.
Right. But they literally went in and used the game engine and rendered an image of her without the mask on for your character longingly look at in the third game now. So there's that to look forward to.
Jason,
If
I'm
you're a Tally
still on the fence. Like, I think this is one for me. I know that I was on the fence about it. You were probably a no, but maybe if you caught it at some deep sale, you'd end up picking it up in the future. Has seeing anything released and people doing Let's Plays or streaming or videos on YouTube, reviews and stuff of it, has any of that changed your mind? Because I think I'm still kind of, I enjoyed one at the time. And, I got halfway through 2, and I was like, this is, I like the more exploration-based one, and they kind of took a lot of that away in the second and third one, so I fell out. I'm still on the fence. I'll probably wait till like a half-off sale or something like that. I will get it, just not right away. Has anything changed your mind on that front?
I have been watching a friend of mine stream it through the first game, and to admit I kind of do want to play it. I do.
Yeah, the
I do
shooting
want to
got
get
a lot better.
Okay, if you say so. I couldn't really tell that from watching him because he's playing
Yeah.
on Xbox for one thing. So he has to do through the menu to change out his weapons all the time instead of just like a scroll mouse or hitting the number key or whatever. I remember doing that. So
Right.
yeah, I think on PC I think I'd enjoy it a lot more. And
Yeah.
yeah.
But the original versions, I did enjoy the PC version more than the Xbox version because I did have the 360. Was that two and 3, I think,
Yep.
and then they released the Greatest Hits edition for the first one. Yeah, I played that on the Xbox 360 and on PC. So PC version on both versions, regular and legendary, is I think much better.
So see,
Just
overall I'm not
because-
grumpy. There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
I'm feeling good.
I'm amazed that it changed your mind because, like, we knew
That didn't change. Just
what
sort
we
of
were
made me
getting.
feel
Well,
a
I mean,
little
you were just like,
yeah.
last time we talked about it, you were like, nah, I think I'm going to skip this one. I just think I'm going to skip it.
Yeah.
There's no real reason for me to get it. And now, yeah, are you going to, like, do what I'm doing? And Mad Martha, yeah, you're right in chat. That's kind of what I'm thinking, too. It's like, because of when it
Yeah.
came out by Christmas, it's definitely going to be, like, half off or something like
Oh,
that.
most likely, yeah. The
If
way
I
games
ruin my
go these
gaming
days.
backlog.
That's true too. Yeah, I mean, I have some time to get through some stuff. Although because of the extended period of time we have to wait for Endwalker now for Final Fantasy 14. I'll have stuff to do next week with the new patch finishing everything off. But yeah,
Is there a new patch next week?
Yeah, it's the second half of 5.5.
Oh,
Tuesday.
excellent. Yeah, okay. So
tell you
I'll
what.
probably end up doing that too.
I'll tell you what, I'd have more time if I wasn't waiting 40 minutes in queues in Conqueror's Blade.
Well,
now I'm
see,
angry
see,
again.
there you,
Now
there
I'm
you go.
angry.
Ah, I was
There
feeling
you
good.
go. While you're
We
while you're
almost
waiting
got
for the queue, there's something for you to do.
I was watching Overwatch League, which actually I'm still doing now, but you know.
On the other side of things, new games, I finished the first playthrough of Resident Evil Village here on Ready Check Radio.
Before you go there, real
Yeah,
quick, I
yeah.
just remembered. No Man's Sky had a
Oh,
Easter
yeah,
egg.
yeah. Sorry, you
Yeah,
added
yeah.
that late, and I did see
Right,
it, but
right.
I'm sorry.
Right. So yeah, for No Man's Sky, you can get the Normandy 01, the first Normandy, as your as a frigate. You can't actually pilot it, but you can have it as your frigate and see it in the sky and all its glory and stuff like that. So that's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah, I bet that's another one for our friend Mike B, Jason. That I bet just has him all giddy. The
You know,
Normandy in No Man's
I
Sky.
read that too. Or when I first heard Normandy in No Man's Sky, I was like, that sounds awesome. And I read it and it says, oh, you can't actually fly it.
Yeah.
That's a whole other license, I'm guessing.
That's
So-
that's typical of No Man's Sky. You know, promising something and then not delivering. You know, so, yeah.
It's there. It's there.
It's there. It is there.
I mean,
And I
it
think
could
you
be a painting of it stick on the wall.
It is
You
a
can,
neat
like, go
crossover,
into it.
though. It is a neat
Yeah,
crossover.
you can board it and look in the CIC, I think, but you can't actually fly it.
Yeah, that's the part. Like, if you couldn't board it, then I would kind of understand. Like, maybe they didn't, model the inside of it and stuff like that. But you can actually board it, so I don't quite get why you can't fly it. But I don't know.
Probably because that's a different license.
What for it to be in motion?
Right. For you to use everything of the
I don't
Normandy.
think that has.
I think it is.
I
I think that would be money that they have to pay.
See, but if
It's
there
never
was
been
no,
Easter
if you
egg.
couldn't get inside, maybe I would buy that because they're saying that that's actually a set drop for a lot of the game. But since you can actually get in there, that means they had to build it, which means if there was a cost, they already paid it. I wouldn't presume that there would be a cost for both a separate cost for exterior versus interior anyway. But I don't know. It's a little weird. Maybe we get to drive it at some point.
Maybe they're waiting on that one.
Now we get to Mike's favorite part.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Boom. Finished the first playthrough on normal, so was able to open up the hardcore difficulty and the Village of Shadows difficulty, so I'll be doing some of that in Resident Evil Village. Won't be streaming it every single stream. We did, Mondays I normally do Final Fantasy TCG. We will be doing Final Fantasy TCG again this coming Monday. We took a couple days off so that we could go Resident Evil in succession. Honestly, I very much enjoyed the game. Is it the best game ever? No. It definitely isn't. Is it the best Resident Evil ever? No, it definitely is not. Is there a lot of Resident Evil 4 going on in Resident Evil Village almost to a T? Yes. I mean, the game starts with you in a rush mode, basically, in a random rundown village. Until everything runs away because some bells tolled or a clock tolled or something. I mean, that is literally the beginning of Resident Evil 4. So there is a lot of that going on. But I got to say, I really ended up enjoying the game. And we may get into, slight spoiler territory here, but nothing. We aren't going to spoil the end because I thought the end was well done.
How many weeks has it been out now?
It came out
3?
not this past Friday, but the one before.
Feels like 6 months we've been talking about it.
Yeah, it should be fine to spoil a little something. I mean,
No,
most
we're not
people
going to
probably-
spoil the ending at all
No,
because there
of
are
course
a
not, of
few
course not, of course
twists
not,
at
yeah.
the end, and
Right.
one or two you might see coming if you pay attention. I think there's one or two that a lot of people won't see coming, so we're not going to touch any of those. But we are going to talk about things like, obviously, the internet sensation Lady D herself. She's in the first 20% of the game. And then her and her daughters are totally gone. That's it. Poof, kaput. I would have liked to have seen more, not because I want to be stepped on by a 9.5-foot tall woman, but because I liked those characters and some of the lore bits that you pick up that reference how they came to be.
Oh, God.
It's one of those things that I'm like, maybe that would have been the more interesting game, Jason.
Right?
Sounds like, to hear you say that makes me even more not wanting to pick it up.
Oh, geez. Yeah, some of that was.
That's not
very
to say that
interesting.
the other bad people, the other bad guys aren't compelling. Aren't compelling.
Yeah, I mean, Heisenberg was.
Heisenberg is a very interesting
Cool.
villain. Yeah. Only one of them is one that I really didn't care about. The fish guy. Moreau.
Yeah, giant fish guy.
Yeah, Moreau didn't do it for me. I just kind of bailed on that one. But the doll and Heisenberg and Lady D, I thought they were pretty compelling. Mother Miranda, the main baddie, she's kind of interesting, but is a one-note villain.
Right.
She's got what she's doing. All in all, does it fit with 7 for me? Yeah, kind of. Are there a couple leaps in logic and maybe a little bit of retconning between 7 and 8? Yeah, sure. But all in all, it was enjoyable. I liked it. I liked it enough to play on the more enhanced difficulties to try and get collection points and finish buying different things that you're allowed to
You
purchase.
want all the little statues, don't you?
You know, I have all the statues. I have all the custom art. The only things I need to buy now are a couple special weapons and a couple infinite ammo unlocks, which means I have to play through and max upgrade those weapons so that I can
Right.
buy the infinite ammo. The Mercenaries mode is okay. I think it was better done in previous Resident Evils, but it's okay. I have not redeemed my code for RE Verse yet, so I have not played that at all. Maybe I'll stream that this week.
Oh, reverse, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
multiplayer thing.
Yeah. The multiplayer one.
I had watched you obviously play through the entire game.
Yeah.
Liked the storyline. The storyline was well done, the way they played it out. And the different types of gameplay per chapter, I guess you would call them.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. The way they change up how things scare and what kind of gameplay you're playing.
Yep.
I think runs the gambit of all the zombie type games you can find out there.
Yeah.
Which is really well done, I thought.
Honestly, the scariest part, I think, like, I didn't find the game truly scary. Like,
No.
I jumped a couple of times from a jump scare, but I didn't find it like terrifying or anything. But I'm also like one of those people that's super into horror movies, and like I'm just nuts about scary stuff. So it takes a lot to get to me on that front. But I will say, like, the most unnerving part of the game for me, Jason, was the entire like second chapter, to use Yod's term, where there was no combat at all. Like,
right.
That's the best kind of horror.
Yeah, all the combat was totally stripped from it. Like, all of your weapons are taken away. You don't know if they're actually taken away or if, you know, the character is making you hallucinate that you don't have them.
Right.
Because you do end up just getting them back at the end and you don't have to pick them up from anywhere. So, but that whole sequence in like the dollhouse area, I thought that was really well done. There was like a hide and seek where first you have to hide from what I think was the scariest thing in the game that you don't even fight. It was this weird big ass slimy baby making all kind of dad noises, and it was creepy. It was creepy. You had to hide from that all over the place, and then the doll hides from you, and you have to seek the doll. And it was the probably the most unnerving sequence of the game. If I got to rate it 1 through 10, I probably give it a 7. A 7. So a little above average, but there's better Resident Evils in my book. The ending is worth the playthrough, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It is obviously set up for Resident Evil 9 on like
Obviously.
2 or 3 different paths. They can go a couple different ways with it. In a week or two, I do want to circle back because there is something that happens at the end that I don't quite understand.
Okay.
Because there is an obvious gap. Somebody ages, okay, in the game, and they age far enough that you as the player know years have gone by. Years have gone by from the end of the game to this final cutscene.
Oh,
you know years have gone by. But Chris, in the helicopter, talks to a soldier about a bioweapon on the helicopter that they don't expect to see here. So presumably, we're going to go talk to Umbrella or Blue Umbrella or, you know, BSSA.
Right.
But then it cuts to this cutscene that obviously years have gone by. So wait, what happened? Like, did we go and did we talk to BSSA? Like, what happened there? I don't know. It's a weird time jump. Yeah, I'd give it about a 7. Jason, Yod, we'll go with you first because I know you watched like every minute of this stream.
Right, yeah.
You've seen the entire game.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts on it?
I would give it a 7 or 8 as well, because it does have some issues, but it is a solid game. I thought the ending was well done and wraps up nicely in a little package the previous games as a first section. so
Mhm.
that they can move on with new characters. That's kind of what it felt like to me. Like,
Yeah, well,
okay,
I mean, there's going to be
that's
I think
that's
I
done
think
over
Chris
here.
still has a part to play in the story.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
Chris.
Styx is talking about, did you pick up the fact that they foreshadowed it early in the game, the ending? Yes.
Oh yeah,
There's you can infer that maybe years have not passed, but I would say, Styx, that it's not as many years. Like when you watch it in a normal timeline, you would say, wow, like 14, 15 years have passed. I think it's still years that have passed, just maybe not as many. Um,
right.
but so
Because
I
of
don't know about new characters though.
things.
Like Chris still fits into this storyline. There's
And
a
Chris
female
does,
character that still fits in the next storyline.
right.
Obviously, she fits in the next storyline.
hmm I think
Um,
Chris will be elevated to like a higher up, not no longer in the field at this point.
well, he doesn't
In
have
the
exactly
next
the
session.
best track record in the field.
True,
Lots
but
of
I mean,
things he tries to
considering
protect end up dead.
right, but considering age and what he has done,
Right.
yeah, if he's still with that organization, he's probably, a desk jockey at this point.
What'd you think, Jason?
So,
I know you caught a little bit of it here and there, but what'd you think?
I think I've just been over here napping while you guys have been going on and gushing about how
Yeah, I kind of
wonderful it
skipped
is.
you because I know you're not a huge Resident Evil guy. So,
Yeah, nothing you're saying is making me go, I want to rush out and grab
all
a
right, well,
bite
I
of
got
it.
one
Yeah.
more for you then. One more thing for you. We talk mods on Resident Evil. I showed you the Thomas the Tank Engine Lady D mod.
mhm,
What was the other one I showed you? The Barney mod,
mhm.
where the zombies turn in. I've got a better one for you. It is right now my favorite mod, my absolute favorite mod.
Something of Lady D gets really huge.
It is Lady D. It is Lady D.
Mhm.
I'll
Like
bring it
That's
up to
where
you
all
off
the
stream where I
mods
can
are.
say
What are you
months
talking
past
about?
it.
No, that's true. Yeah, right.
Here we go. Here we go. Here is Lady D with a hat that just progressively gets bigger throughout the entire game.
Oh my god.
Look at the curves on that.
This one is from Kalia Lee on YouTube. This is probably, look at that. I'm not playing the
Massive.
audio. I do suggest you look up Kalia
Yeah.
Lee on YouTube. That's KALLIALEE. And check this video out because the commentary, he's like,
I
"Don't have-"
didn't.
if you listen to it, he says, you don't have to worry about the sun anymore. Don't have to worry about the sun with being outside with this hat.
I didn't know she was a Mexican vampire.
Wow.
This is probably my favorite mod so far. I absolutely, and this is just tremendous when you get outside into the courtyard area and it's just this big ass hat. Jason,
only
if
seen-
this doesn't make you want to buy the game, I don't know what will.
Nope, nothing. Sorry, not happening.
Oh.
I've seen one other mod that was kind of interesting, but I doubt we would show it on the stream where
Yeah,
the
that's a
daughters
really
are
fun-
dressed up as
Yeah,
deer.
2B, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and the mother just has a fishnet stocking on, which
Yeah,
is
the daughters are fine. They are literally wearing
Yeah.
like the 2B black dresses.
Right, which-
So like boob reveal, cleavage
Right.
area stuff, but not her lingerie outfit. They're 2B's lingerie outfits.
right.
Lady D is literally in a full body fishnet stocking
Yeah,
with
with tape.
with black electrical tape over her nipples. And I don't know what, but they changed the character model and she has like wine bottle cork nipples like under the tape. They will put
Huge.
they're huge. They will
Well,
put
now I'm
some
buying
of
the game.
these
There you go. That's what makes him buy the game.
We did it. We did it. Jason's buying Resident Evil.
As we
Oh,
speak. Going to Steam right
tremendous.
now. Yeah.
Tremendous. So all in all, yeah, if you're a fan of Resident Evil, it'll fit the bill nicely. If you're a fan of Resident Evil 4, you're probably playing the same game over again. There is a lot of 4 in it.
There is.
All right, let's get to some legal news. Jason, you brought this one up into chat earlier this week. We talked about it before. Let's get our obligatory Cyberpunk 2077 reference into the show today. CD Projekt Red, the lawsuits, the security fraud lawsuits coming against them are going to move forward, but they also have been condensed. So what exactly is going on here?
Yeah, they've got 4 class action lawsuits still outstanding
Whew.
due to securities fraud based on the belief that they misled the public and misled investors regarding the state of Cyberpunk on various consoles, which
How
were
many
a
did they
mess.
start with? How many did they
13.
start with?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
originally
just wanted to make sure.
13.
13 law
Yeah.
firms have filed them. But those 4 that remain have been condensed into basically one suit, and a single lead plaintiff has been appointed. So, yeah, it's going to be hopefully a little shorter, a little simpler to deal with, and maybe not drag on as long and have a more fulfilling ending to it.
Yeah, here's the weird thing about this, and we said this before too. Like CD Projekt Red has already said we will defend ourselves against these allegations. They're not going to roll over and settle or
Sure.
anything like that. I mean, they may if the costs start to add up. But here's the thing, like this is kind of hard to prove if you're not inside CD Projekt Red or you don't have somebody inside of CD Projekt Red. Like, how do you prove the higher-ups, Yad, purposely lied besides being able to say you knew this was in bad shape and you purposely advertised that it was not, that it was ready, without internal employees being willing to tell you that, internal employees being willing to fashion documents to you, whether they be like emails or things like that, reporting the problems to, Jason, who runs the company. I send him an email, he ignores it, and then you see the next day he's out on stage touting how wonderful and, nothing's wrong. This is a little challenging to prove without something coming from the inside, isn't it?
You kind of need internal data of some kind, some person or persons that were working there at the time that is qualified and willing to go on to stand for you. I mean,
Or fashion something to you anonymously, Jason.
Right.
Well, I mean, isn't discovery a thing? Because what you always hear whenever a game like just has a disaster launch like this, first thing a lot of people say is, "Oh, why didn't QA catch any of this?" And usually the response is QA did, and they forwarded it on to developers, and developers didn't do anything about them.
Yep.
So if all that sort of thing exists, if all the QA testers were sending emails or whatever sort of system they use to log that sort of stuff, could that be used as evidence?
I think it could, but my whole point is if you don't have somebody on the inside, a lot of that stuff tends to disappear.
Yeah, that's kind of an issue. Is how long is that stuff kept around for? So that would be the question.
Yep.
Whoops, we purge our servers every month.
Yeah,
Oh no.
For space issues.
Well, I mean, we'll keep our eye on it, just like we're keeping our eye on Epic versus Apple. Jason will probably have an article or two, I'm sure this week on MMO Bomb, because that case is about to wrap up.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll find out.
I don't know how long it is between wrap up and deliver verdict, but
right,
yeah,
right. But we'll probably, if you want to check out like a sum up article to catch you up to date, I'm sure sometime this week we'll have something on MMOBomb.com. By the way, if you're not following Jason and I over there, why? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Help us out, man. Help us out. We like having jobs. Head on over to MMOBomb.com. Check out an article. We put a poll up to see like the most anticipated free-to-play game on there. We've got quizzes that we set up over there. Check it out. It's a good site. We have a lot of fun. Follow it on Twitter and head on over.
And if you watch us on MMO Bomb, you should know that Mike does a Final Fantasy podcast. Because apparently people didn't know that over there.
Right. The people at MMO Bomb did not know I was doing this here, so now all of you know. Jason and I can be found on MMO Bomb, and come help us out. Help some brothers out.
By recursive, does that mean now we have to tell people that we do Ready Check Raideo?
I think so.
Here on Ready Check Raideo?
I think so.
It's possible.
So. Yeah, that's Twitter on MMO Bomb. Thank you for linking that. Go follow that damn thing. Twitter's making me mad. It purged like 40 accounts from the rolls, and it pushed us under 10,000, and it aggravated me. So go help it get back to 10K. Speaking of other legal stuff, I'm going to skip ahead one, gentlemen, in the links there. We'll come back. Remember, Ubisoft kind of had a bit of a rough PR patch with some allegations of misconduct and sexual harassment and crunch.
So this whole thing is a little interesting and somewhat kind of amusing to me in certain ways. Because Ubisoft also came up with the show called Mythic Quest on Apple TV, where they make fun of and talk about
The development of
gaming
an MMO.
development culture of an
Mhm.
MMO. I think it was mostly to make fun of Blizzard at the time, and making World of Warcraft, because obviously the game that Mythic Quest is like, a riff on that. But the fact that, it makes me wonder how much they actually have to do with that show, other than, proposing the show, if they have anything to do with the actual episode to episode storyline, because it deals with some of the stuff like sexual harassment and toxic workplaces and stuff.
Yep.
So what the
Well, so all that went down, and here we are months later, and Le Telegram published in May an article that they were investigating, and they are claiming, nothing really changed at Ubisoft after all of these things. Like, obviously, the head of HR changed. Cecile Cornett stepped down because they were just, there were allegations that they just whitewashed the whole thing and all that stuff. So this report is alleging that nothing has changed on that front, Jason. Ubisoft obviously wanted to comment on that piece. Said, over a period of several months, Ubisoft has implemented major changes across its organization, internal processes, and procedures in order to guarantee a safe, inclusive, and respectful working environment for all team members. They then went on to tell GameIndustry.biz a number of changes they'd made, not only just making the external investigations of all those allegations, to adding new anonymous reporting tools and mandatory training on conduct, pointed to the company's revamped code of conduct, as well the hirings of Grants and Sika, as well as the appointment of Lidwine Sauer as head of workplace culture. The quote continues, "These concrete actions demonstrate the profound changes that have taken place at every level of the company. Additional initiatives are underway and are being rolled out over the coming months. We are committed to strengthening our culture and values in the long term to help ensure every team member at Ubisoft is heard, respected, and valued in the workplace." So here's where I kind of run into this, Jason. You have this investigation that says, yeah, nothing's really changing there. And then you have Ubisoft pump out this list of things. Having been in business, high up in business, regional VP level and higher in previous careers of mine, I can see a scenario where both of these are true. Where both of these are true statements. Because if you look at the list, and by all means, I have no reason to know if it's a comprehensive list, but the items that Ubisoft does give are all, I don't want to use the word passive because one or two of them are a little more active than that, but they're all kind of one step removed actions. You updated your code of conduct. That doesn't mean anybody's following it, right?
Exactly.
You have hired these different firms to help head up changes in workplace culture. That doesn't mean that the workplace culture has actually changed yet. You have hired and done external investigations of the allegations. That's your minimum fucking duty when these types of things are reported. That one, to me, does not count as a culture change when you have external investigations of allegations being made. Anonymous reporting tools, that should have been there anyway, and that was one of the big problems with this scenario, is that HR did not function the way it's supposed to. Mandatory training on appropriate workplace conduct. Raise your hand if you've ever had a job and you've watched the most uncomfortable sexual harassment training videos ever. Yeah, they're really boring. They're really dumb. Yes, these are all, this is a list of actions. Sure, Ubisoft, you're right. These are actions. If you're looking post on Sticks raising hand in chat, if you're looking for change post these types of things, though, Jason, these aren't exactly the changes one would probably be looking for, right? You're probably looking for shakeups and yes, HR had a leadership change, so maybe you would count that, but you're looking for more than what should have been there already being implemented. And maybe that's shortchanging Ubisoft, and if somebody feels that way, I apologize. I'm going strictly by what they've put in this statement. It feels like a list of things that already should have existed to me.
It all just comes down to me. It comes down to the CEO, Yves Guillemot, who
Yep.
just everything I read, he just seems so out of touch and naive because he's like, this is just a family. I just think of this as a family business. We're just all a bunch of friends here or whatever. And you've got almost 20,000 people.
Yeah,
And if
that's
he
no
doesn't
longer
want
a
to
family
commit,
business.
yeah, if he doesn't want to commit to that change wholeheartedly and make the changes that need to be made, they're not going to be made. And I've seen nothing that indicates that he wants to do that.
He's always struck me, like, in this whole situation, by the way, and I don't know, maybe you guys feel the same or not, let me know. The way that this has played out in all the interviews and stuff that's been going on for months on these topics, you either feel, in my book, if I take him at his word and he honestly had no clue, then you're incompetent and you need to leave.
Yeah.
If you did
Yep.
know, then you need to leave.
Yeah.
I totally
Like,
agree.
I get to this point where I'm like, you got to go, brother. Like, either you were part of it or you were okay with it and you got to go, or this was going on right underneath you. And I don't expect the CEO of a company to know every single thing every little department is doing. Don't extrapolate my comments out that way. But when you have a problem at the top of your HR department, I do expect you to know that something is going on. And if you
Then
don't,
the article,
that's a little incompetent and you got to go.
Then the article also state that there were several other key HR people that was part of the problem and they're still there.
Yep.
So if the inference, just because you cut the head, it's not like a freaking snake. Just because you cut the head off doesn't mean the rest of the infrastructure that's still there isn't still doing what it does. You know, you
We
gotta
call this
root out all
segment
of
"Put
it.
on Your Shocked Face," by the way, because
Yeah.
none of us are shocked.
So shocked.
The other shocked news here. Chat, get ready. Get your shocked faces on. YouTube, get your shocked faces ready to go. Starfield is probably an
Shocked face.
Xbox exclusive.
No.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Totally.
But you know why it's an Xbox exclusive?
Gee.
Because that will provide the best game experience for players. We think it is the best thing that will ever be possible. And we honestly believe that this is the only thing we could have done. That'll be what they say when they do the official announcement
Of course.
at E3.
At E3, yeah.
That will absolutely be what they say.
It's not
At their
confirmed.
joint E3 presentation.
Yeah, it's not confirmed that we're going to see Starfield at E3, but it looks like we will because Xbox and Bethesda are doing a joint thing there, and yeah, it's looking like it will be a PC/Xbox exclusive. It's also looking like, according to Jason Schreier and some others, that its release date is probably in 2022. So if that's the case, then I'm wrong on this one. I thought maybe we could see this by the end of the year, a la the way Fallout 4 was announced, but apparently not. Jason Schreier on Twitter saying, "Let me make this very clear. Bethesda's plan is to tease a release date for Starfield at E3. That date is in late 2022. I'll leave the specifics to them, but please keep your expectations in check and refrain from sending death threats when the other rumors of an earlier release turn out to be false."
Basically, keep your expectations in check for anything Bethesda releases. That's kind of
Don't blame it all
face.
all on the pandemic.
Shock
It's
face.
fine.
all right. That's why it's late. Pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic. It's all the pandemic's fault. And it's pandemic's fault that it's only on Xbox and PC.
Now we've also got. Okay, that's what's next. Instead of putting on our shocked face, let's put on our happy face, gentlemen, because I've got some news that makes me happy.
I ain't got one.
You borrow your partner's, like reach over, go ahead, grab that happy face and just put it on for a little bit. I got some things that make me happy I want to talk about in the world of gaming. We are getting a new Timesplitters game at some point. It is, see, there you go. There's your happy face. It is in development. And this makes me, like, you would not think a shooter game would make me happy, but I loved Timesplitters. Absolutely freaking loved Timesplitters. If you haven't played Timesplitters, You need to go back. I played it on, I think the first time I ever played it was, I think it was Timesplitters 2 for the GameCube, and then went back. Or did I play the first one on something else? Yeah, I played the first one on something else. 2 was the one I played a lot of on the GameCube. It's a first-person shooter. It was by Free Radical Design back in the day, kind of like a, in the vein of a GoldenEye and a Perfect Dark, except with zombies and stuff. The multiplayer was so good. I absolutely loved it. Here's the deal. Publisher Deep Silver has announced the reformation of Timesplitters developer Free Radical Design. Here's where it gets better.
Interesting.
Not only that, the studio's first order of business is reviving the long-dormant shooter with a lot of people, by the way, that actually worked on the originals. They are reforming Free Radical Design to make a new Timesplitters. That's all we have. We have no idea. We haven't seen an entry in this series from 2005, so Jason's going to tell me to temper my hype. But frickin' a new Timesplitters. Either of you have experience with this one, Jason?
Nope.
Minorly for me. I played 2 a little bit, but it was like you said, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. It was a lot of the same people that worked on those 2 games, and I played a buttload of both of those games.
Oh, I love Timesplitters.
The first person shooter aspect of those the programmers and stuff, and if they're those same people, if they get that storyline going again, hey, I'm all for it. It should turn out pretty well, I think.
We don't know if this is going to be exclusively console. I would not imagine that in this day and age that it would be exclusively console. I would imagine there's going to be a PC release for this one.
Not if Microsoft buys that company first.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Then it would be Xbox still on PC.
It'll be on PC still.
Yeah, it'll still be on PC.
Yeah.
That one makes me very, very happy. All right. Since that, I couldn't sell you on that one, Jason. I couldn't sell you on that.
No, couldn't sell me on that one.
Let me try this one. Maybe this is a little more up your alley. And honestly, I'm gonna go out and say I didn't even realize that this was a thing yet. But the Rift Breaker has been officially added to the Xbox Game Pass at launch. It is a base-building survival action RPG made by Exer Studios. You got to assume the role of a captain, and it's, Game Informer says, get your inner Neon Genesis Evangelion on and get in a damned robot, because this experience is all about a mecha suit and power X and exploration. I actually kind of enjoyed this trailer watching it. It's got a little bit of RTS flavor going on. Jason, what'd you think when you checked this out?
That's a good point by Mystic. Says that does sound like our next podcast, Rift Breaker.
We'll make that one when Rift closes.
But no, I mean, I look at it and yeah, I do agree. It looks kind of cool.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
This was nowhere on my radar. I don't know how I missed it.
Now the thing is, for me, it's like I don't know if I would want to merge the two. Like there's part of it is like the shooter blowing crap up all over the place, and the part is base building. It's like, do I really want both of those in one? Yeah. But I mean, it does look pretty cool. It might be able to pull off that merger pretty well.
Here's the thing that I'm really enjoying Game Pass, by the way, and I'm not alone, right? A lot of people are enjoying the Game Pass. I gotta say, I probably would not have bought this. Like, as much as I look at it and I'm like, that's neat, and I would probably like that. There are just, when it comes out, there's probably just other things I'd be like, yeah, I want to spend the $60 on that instead. Mm-hmm. Like, this would be, it's on sale and I have nothing else to buy and I'm looking for something goofy to stream that night type deal. But this is what Game Pass does for me. Like, now I can play this on launch day and maybe end up buying the damn thing just so when it goes off of Game Pass, I don't lose it. Where if it weren't on Game Pass, it probably would have been one I forgot about until I saw in a bargain bin somewhere. I think you really got to appreciate that aspect of what that service does. It is tremendous value. Now, it does suck when games leave Game Pass. That kind of feels bad. But this game probably wouldn't have had a shot with me without it. And I think you got to respect that, Yad. What did you think about this when I sent you guys the trailer?
It looks really interesting. Not really something I would play. I think it's a little too stressful for me. Like I like the base building because that's kind of like StarCraft, when when you build your troops up and stuff like that. But to have one hero and you're dependent on that one hero, and you got to upgrade your base and the weapons and the resources. It no, I'll
God
watch
wants his
someone play
slave
it.
labor.
Yes, yes. I want to set the SCVs and let them go and do their thing. While I set the Marines out and they go out and shoot things, and I just sit there and build stuff. That's how I want it.
On the other side of things, this is absolutely a day one purchase for me. Absolutely 100% a day one purchase for me next month. June 25th, Mario Golf Super Rush. We got a little trailer shot kind of showing the battle mode with some of the characters here. I know we talked briefly about this before, but I had to find a way to get the trailer in on the show. This makes me smile. I will break out the Switch and hook it up to the stream and absolutely play this. Now, which of the two, did both of you have Switches?
No, the wife has a Switch for me.
Your wife has one. I thought your
Yeah,
partner
The
had
partner
one.
has a Switch. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we got to play then. Like the three of us have to do battle mode. We have to do an episode of Gaming Gumbo, like Zista and I did a 2-person version of Snowbound, where we ran Torghast during it. We have to do a Gaming Gumbo where the three of us are Mario golfing. Come on. Jason, I know you like golf games. I know you and I have played quite a few of them in our day.
Yeah.
So can I entice you with this one?
You gonna buy it for me?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
That is a problem.
Yod, are you into golf games? Oh, by the way,
I
I will not be using motion controls. Fuck that noise.
Not really. I mean, the battle mode, the Mario Kart-esque battle mode on this thing is very intriguing. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, the motion controls kind of
16
neat,
characters. Yeah, sticks in chat. No shy guy. At least
Right.
not revealed
God,
as
it's
one of the 16
$60.
characters.
Yeah. No.
Oh
No.
man,
Yeah.
I have no problem paying full retail for this.
You are right ahead.
I get so many hours out of like Mario Golf and Mario Tennis and stuff that I have no problem giving them $60. Not a problem.
It's very intriguing. It is a very intriguing game, but yes, $60. I don't know if I can shell that out.
All right, so chat,
Shell.
Yeah.
Mario.
Chat, you'll have to watch me play it then. These knuckleheads aren't going to play it. All right, here's a few titles. I just want to buzz through them real quickly. We do this once a month. Here are some, not all, but some of the major titles releasing in June across all platforms. Let's just give our usual thumbs up, thumbs down on if it's a day one purchase. And then if it's a purchase at all, if you say no, you'll play endless rounds with me. All right, Sticks. Whoever gets it, if you get it, we'll do it. We'll do a community stream with Mario Golf late next month when we get it. First up, Elder Scrolls Online Gates of Oblivion on the PC and the Google Stadia on June 1st, just a little over a week now. This is absolutely a thumbs up day one purchase for me. I already pre-ordered the damn thing. I'm sorry, I already pre-purchased the damn thing. You guys, I don't think you're into Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, you know me and Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, inventory and
I
craft
tried.
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried playing it when it went free to play originally, and I think I played the beta back in the day, but no, can't do Elder Scrolls Online.
No, all right, so it gets 1 point. Chivalry 2 on June 8th. Jason, I kind of put this one on here because I thought maybe it would be a thumbs up from you. How right or wrong was I?
I never really got into Chivalry. I got it for free when they gave it away free for a day, and I don't know. It just never has really gotten to me that well. It's too small. I feel like I want to have bigger battles.
It's
if I'm gonna do
small.
that sort of thing.
It's
Yeah,
small.
It's small.
I'm still doing Conqueror's Blades. I'm sticking with that probably.
Oh, you're still in queue.
Yeah, I'm probably still. I probably have been for like a whole day, for a whole hour.
Yod, what about you? Chivalry 2.
Never even heard of it until I looked at it on the notes. So no.
This
no,
one's this is definitely where like Rift Breaker fits for me. One of those games that I'm like, I would probably like that, but I'm not gonna buy it. This is not even an on sale one for me. There's just too many other things
Wow.
that I know I would jump into. So
that's 0 then.
yeah, 0. You guys, what about like if it was on sale 6 months from now, Jason? Would you grab it? Wow,
Maybe.
ringing endorsement.
I've just never been into chivalry. Just no.
Ratchet
sorry.
and Clank Rift Apart, June 11th on the PS5. This is a thumbs up day one purchase for me, but there's not only do I like the Ratchet and Clank games, but it's like a tradition of my daughter and I to play through Ratchet and Clank games. So it's definitely a thumbs up day one purchase for me. It being on a PS5, I would imagine is probably going to be a 0 from both of you.
Don't have one.
Yeah, not so much. I do remember the trailer though from last year's E3. It looked really neat.
Yeah.
It looks really good. It looks like it's a lot of fun, but no PS5.
Dark Alliance, June 22nd. We'll start with you, Yad. We talked about this a number of shows ago. June 22nd. Yes, no, day 1, day 50. What do you got?
I'll wait till it's a little bit on sale. I mean, it is interesting, and I
That
do
Beholder
like
looked
the gameplay.
awesome. You and I love
The
that
Beholder did look awesome, and the gameplay looked like a lot of fun. But I got other things to play. I you know.
Jason, you were lukewarm on this one at best.
Warm. I was like,
I said at best.
You can't spell edgelord without D and D. So that's
There's nothing wrong with D&D Edgelord.
This is a yes from
Sure.
me, but I don't know if it's day one. I don't know if it's one I sit and wait for a sale, though. I think I buy it earlier than that, but I don't think it's day one. Legend of Mana, coming out on June 24th for the PS4, the Switch, and the PC. 3 different platforms. The PlayStation 1 Legend of Mana title. Yeah, this is a no-brainer day one for me. I have my original PlayStation 1 still.
like there aren't enough days in the year for you to buy everything on day one.
Well, hey, I've already paid for Oblivion, so I don't have to worry about that. Ratchet and Clank, Dark Alliance, Legend of Mana, Mario Golf. So that's 4 titles in June.
We're gonna have like 40 games next month. Like day one on this, day one on that. I'm so hyped.
No.
Yeah.
You guys did you ever play Legend of Mana on PlayStation 1?
I'm not sure if I did. If so, I remember playing one JRPG series that I didn't really like, and maybe this was it. But yeah, it's not something I've been into.
All right, that's a no from you, Yad.
Yeah.
The wife probably already has it on pre-order.
Probably.
Yeah, she was.
It's
a
a
Legend of Mana
classic.
fan,
It's so good.
Yeah, that's her game. I'll probably watch her play it.
Mario Golf Super Rush, we already talked about, June 25th. That's a yes from me. Scarlet Nexus is also on June 25th. That's an RPG that we talked about on the show before, too, that I am mildly interested in. That's not a day one for me, though. I think I got to see reviews first before I make the call on that one. What about you, Yad?
Same. Yeah, I want to see how it actually pans out.
Yeah, I mean, it looked interesting. Go ahead.
It did look interesting, but yeah.
Go ahead, Jason.
Well, yeah, same thing. I at least want to look at the reviews.
Disgaea 6. Do either of you play the Disgaea series? I have all of them.
No.
I love them. Oh, I love them. The Prinnies. Prinnies are.
I like the character designs.
Prinnies for life.
I had a friend that was really interested. I had a friend back in the day that was really into the Disgaea series.
I don't do day one for Disgaea though, so that'll have to wait a little bit. What is this?
All right.
Oh yeah. So this isn't like super news or anything, but we just got finally revealed a Easter egg on the original Xbox that's been hidden for 20 years. You go through a whole process of naming a ripped CD a certain way and doing things, and it changes the setting screen to show you the creators of the original Xbox's dashboard. The only reason I bring this up is, if you want to go do it, fine, great, fantastic.
If you have an Xbox that still works.
I do, but the thing is, I just like things like this. So I wanted to get your how do you feel about this? I like when these little types of like Easter eggs and nods are hidden in games or things, and they don't get found for like decades. I love that. I think that's so cool.
I think it's cool, except that I think the fact that he made it that really long name you have to rename your thing made it like nobody was going to get it. It's not like you press a random series of buttons and maybe someone eventually does that. So
right, but at the time that was a meme back in the day.
Not
the name of the file is Timmy.
Yeah, but of all the random things you could have chosen, if it was all your base are belong to us, would that still also have been?
There was that, yeah.
Uh-oh.
There is supposedly one other Easter egg that
Yeah,
nobody's
he
found
says
yet.
there's one more.
Yeah.
He's like, nobody's found it. To my knowledge, there's still one
But
more.
they're not saying what that is though. So there's that. I like those that type of Easter egg type deal, and the fact that people hide stuff like that into their work because it shows a certain amount of passion.
Like the
Shows
Atari
the
developers that used to hide their names in the game
right,
because Atari
right,
wouldn't.
That
like,
was the first Easter
there was
egg,
no
basically, was
credits.
in an adventure.
right,
It was an
Yeah.
adventure,
right.
yeah.
It shows a lot of love and commitment put into this thing that they've given you.
All right,
I
before
think-
we head on over and do games of the week, we got a Yod's Corner and a Jason's Corner. Yod, what do you want to talk about real quick here?
All right, but careful, note my addendum there.
Castlevania TV series, they finally ended it, or the anime series. So I thought it ended really well. I was a little sad with
I'm not listening. I'm not listening. I'm not
one of
listening.
oh, you haven't watched okay, you haven't watched the
you're not done
Did you
yet.
see my
Yeah.
spoil? Did you see
Yeah,
my
yeah,
note
yeah.
written there? Did you see the
Yeah,
note
yeah,
I
yeah,
had?
I did not. I did not. I was
Jason is
no
still,
spoilers.
yeah,
Jason is still
on
on
season
3.
3. So
okay.
Well, Sticks, you don't have to mute. We're not going to. This is,
no spoilers.
This
no
is
spoilers.
impressions. We're not going to
See,
talk
Mystics
about
is
the
right
show
with
at
me
all.
there. Okay,
There was one part of the ending that had me really sad. I understood why it happened, but it was still heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about anything in the show
right.
itself, besides to say that season 4 was, for me, my son Torchwick and I, we watched it in one sitting. Like I said, hey, I'm going to watch Castlevania. You want season 4? You want to come? And he's like, yeah, sure. We watched the whole damn thing, all 10 episodes. I mean, it's not all that long to binge, but
I
few hours.
restarted from episode 1, season 1.
I
and
thought
watched all the way
season 4
through.
was incredible. I thought season 4 was their best season yet. I can kind of see why they wanted to end it and move on to another project, whether that be He-Man next or Legend of Zelda next. There's a bunch of stuff they want to do. I thought some of the animation in season 4 is by far the best animated season out of the 4 too.
They upped their budget. They
huge.
A lot of the scenes started having dual shadowing.
Yeah.
Where you have like the base shadow and then a darker shadow on top of that, which that's a pain in the butt to do.
And they also started implementing 3D rotating cameras on a 2D image.
Right.
There was just some tremendous stuff. If it doesn't win a bunch of awards, I'll be shocked. I will be shocked. It was that good. And the narrative is great. If you like the first 3 seasons, you will love. Jason, you had watched I think it was the first season, and we're a little bit into the second season when I asked how you were liking it. You said that it was a little more narrative than action, and you wanted to see a little more action. I told you that was going to pick up a bit. Now that you're in season 3, what's your impression now that you're that far?
It's still leaning more heavily on the narrative part. I'm only like 2 or 3 episodes in. So obviously they're setting up that season. Obviously the big battle at the end of season 2 was cool, but I still like there to be a little more action. So, but I am appreciating the narrative. It is a good narrative, and the way they're developing the characters is pretty
and
good.
season 4 is all action, so you will be fine.
Okay, well, there you go.
Right. Top to bottom.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, I don't want all action. I like some narrative.
No, the narrative's there too, but it is
a
ton of action. It's so good. They did a great job.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see. Like He-Man was my childhood favorite cartoon. So I will, if they want to do something there with Kevin Smith and stuff, great, fantastic. I'm all on board. You want to do a Legend of Zelda? I'm fucking in. Let's do it.
I think Legend of Zelda comes after the He-Man project. Yeah, and the He-Man designs look really nice.
Yep.
We have that DVD-ROM game of Zelda if we want animated Zelda.
Oh
right?
God.
Oh
God. CDI. Jason, PDXCon, you were watching that to get a little Crusader Kings 3 expansion info. How did that pan out for you?
There was info, yeah. No, more specifically, they did announce the expansion. It's going to be called Royal Court, and it's going to have a lot more emphasis on your court and on rulership. It's things like you can build up your court by attracting noble guests who will want to do things like hunt a beast or do a sculpture or something like that or whatever, and you can increase the grandeur of your court, and it makes it more interesting and more attractive and I guess makes everything just cooler and better and makes you more impressive a ruler. It also helps. They're going to do a big change to culture, so you can so cultures themselves will change over time. And right now, culture is just like, okay, you're French, that dude's English. You got like a -5 reaction because the French kind of hate the English or whatever. But apparently, it's just a color. But apparently, they are going to do a lot more with it and have it be a lot more dynamic of a system. So I'm really looking forward to that. I kind of wish it was more of an. I hope at some point they will do an expansion of the world in general. Like I was talking with some guys in chat in a stream. Like hopefully they expand the map or expand the timeline or whatever. But I guess if you're going to do more of a mechanical thing like they did with some of the expansions in Crusader Kings 2, this is probably a decent enough way to go for that. So that looks pretty
Nice.
cool. There's no date on it yet. They have a big patch coming out in July, and they said after or in the summer they said, and then after that is when the expansion will be out. So that's when that's going to be.
Nifty.
Okay.
Nifty.
A couple other things. I mean, I guess I'll bring up City Skylines again. Has some new content creator packs, which is kind of neat. It's like actual packs
Good game.
created by content creators. Yeah,
Good
yeah,
game.
really
I
popular.
totally
a lot of good
foobarred my
stuff.
first couple of cities, but that's a story for a stream. Ask me about it sometime, Chad. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the packs they have are one for like a train stations and one for bridges and piers. So if you want your stuff being all that much more pretty, those are actually out now. Like they released them like last night as they were doing their speech or whatever. Various other expansions for the various other games. Heart of Iron 4 is getting a Russian expansion. A board game for Stellaris they're apparently working on, so that's kind of cool.
That is neat.
The one thing that seems kind of cool to me though is that they're doing a Victoria 3, which is a sequel to Victoria 2, which came out like 11 years ago. And Victoria is like set in the Victorian age, roughly mid 1800s to mid 1900s, like Victorian age through to the onset of World War II. And it's not like they say it's not like a war game of paint the map red and everything. It's more of like a diplomacy and culture kind of game where you try to like just like kind of like Royal Court. You just want to have kind of the coolest culture. You want to attract philosophers and have achieve things through diplomacy and whatnot to build up your culture,
Right.
and build up your nation that way. So that was a kind of interesting approach to do a grand strategy game. So I might want to actually check that out sometime. Whenever it launches, they say they have no date on it. It's sometime. They just announced it. It's like Starfield. It'll be here eventually.
As long as it's not like Star Citizen's eventuality.
Oh,
Oh,
womp,
God,
womp, womp. I would be remiss. Torchwick did ask me to bring up on the Star Citizen front that there is a free fly weekend going on this weekend. He is mildly interested in that game because he'll still be alive when it comes out. I won't. So
Wow.
he's mild. What?
Wow.
What?
He
Work
has
the
been
game.
development older than
Welcome
him,
to
yeah.
chat. Work the game. Always good to see you, my friend. Saying messing up early cities just part of the journey. Yeah. Well, yeah. Ask me about it on stream. There's a difference between messing up your first couple of cities in a sim game and what I did. So, yeah. Let's slide over and do our games of the week. The segment of the show where we each give you a game that we recommend you check out. Doesn't have to be new, could be on an old system, emulator, whatever. Go check it out. And in the comments on YouTube or over on Ready Check Raideo, RAIDEO.com, you let us know who gave the best of the recommendations. I've got to go first this week, so I'm going to give you, in honor of Mario Golf coming out next week or next month, I'm going to give you Mario Tennis Aces on the Nintendo Switch. Definitely one, like, even if you don't particularly find yourself interested in tennis, it's a blast. It is a blast. The Mario Tennis series and the Mario Golf series, some of my favorite sporting games ever. Mario Tennis Aces for the Nintendo Switch. And since it came out in like 2018, if you don't own it, you could probably pick it up on a pretty deep discount. That's going to be my recommendation for this week. Go ahead, Jason.
So talk about messing up your first city. I'm going to give my recommendation to. I might have done this before. I'm going to do it again because it actually launched. Enzo and a World Apart. I've been playing a lot of that. Streamed it on Ready Check on Tuesday night. Yeah, really fun post-apocalyptic city builder. When I played it before, I was like, this is kind of fun, but it's lacking a few things. It's not all that clear on a few things. And they've really cleaned it up pretty well since launch. So really enjoying that and doing much better on my second city than I did on my first. So
that's always
keeping
the
the
case.
tradition alive.
Yod, what do you got?
Obviously, you expected it. I gotta go with Mass Effect Legendary.
Yeah, I knew we were going up
'Cause,
against
you
Mass
know.
Effect this week.
Right.
Shock face.
Right. Shocked face.
Yeah. Chat, get your shocked faces on that we used earlier in the
Yes.
Ubisoft hasn't done much category.
So yes,
Mass
Effect
Effect.
Legendary.
Mass Effect.
Gotta go with it.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Chat, of course, you stay put. And if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify, make sure you head on over for one of the live shows. We always have a streamer on immediately afterwards. Today is going to be Torchwick, who streams a little show called Games Older Than Me every Saturday here on Ready Check Radio at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Always has to be a game older than himself. Torchwick, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you?
Hey, I can't complain. Nobody listens. What is today's game? Where are we headed?
Well, you were talking about Resident Evil 8. Or
I was.
Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
And so we went all the way back to where it began, and we're playing Resident Evil.
So you started Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation 1 last week. We're going to continue into that. Where are we so far?
We're in a mansion in the woods. Surprise! Get those shock faces back.
For the return of the shocked faces.
We're about to fight a giant snake. I died
Oh,
the
so you're
first
like at
time, and then we
the
had-
first real boss. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying the old school tank controls?
Okay, so I'm not having a problem with them actually. Like I get a lot of people complain. I don't know if I'm just used to it already, but it's fine. It works.
Nice.
It's amazing how scary the game still is.
Right?
How tense, I guess, is a better word.
It is. It is. Well, chat, as always, we'll have a few minutes post-show, and then we'll go dark for about 15, 20 seconds just to relabel the streams for everybody and separate the VODs down below. And Torchwick will be back. Torchwick will see you in just a second. As far as us here on Gaming Gumbo, we will see you next week, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. But don't miss Snowbound on Tuesday at 7 and the Relic Grind Thursday at 7. Obviously, it's going to be a busy week on those two shows with all the Overwatch 2 stuff happening this past week. We'll be talking about that on Tuesday. And then, of course, Thursday, we'll be able to get into our thoughts on the second half of patch 5.5, which drops this coming Tuesday. So a busy week, and then we'll wrap it up, as always, Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Until then, Yod, where can everybody find you?
A little longer this time, but on Yacht Artworks on Twitter, Yacht Artworks on Facebook, right here on Gaming Gumbo, and for the next few weeks, I think, streaming on Thursday nights with Faye and Tarkov for Diablo 3.
Yeah, right after the Relic Grind.
Right after Relic Grind. So we're going to go kill Diablo.
Mr. Winter.
Again.
I'm on Twitter and Winter Informal, streaming at twitch.tv/JasonWinter. And if Faye ever does Overwatch again, I'll jump on that stream again. So
Sounds good. My name's Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio on Twitter, and we'll tweet at you every time we've got a show or one of our lovely volunteer streamers going live. Until next week, stay safe. See you on the server.